Good afternoon, guys. So today is 28th of April, and we will have to cover the current affairs of today. The first news is India may get major share of US vaccine exports. Now, why this is in news? I hope you remember yesterday we have talked about there are major stocks that are currently ramped up by the US administration for providing vaccination to the people at home, and it is according to an estimate that the total amount of vaccine that were uh, in USA were approximately amounting to 60 crore doses. So these are the total stock that they have already taken. Now, out of that 60 million doses will be, or the 6 crore doses, 10% of the total doses will be exported to the countries who are in the need to receive those particular vaccines. So in that particular case, the wheels of diplomacy have worked. I hope you remember last time the US have issued a statement that they will not share the vaccine, and there is no further relaxation with respect to the lineage of the or with respect to the leniency with respect to the IPR regime or sharing the vaccine with the other nations. But now the official policies or the wheels of diplomacy have worked. They have led to basically cooperation among the countries, and that have led to the poor countries receiving vaccines directly from the United States of America. And in that, according to an estimate, as India is lobbying hard for the vaccination, which India is going to start from 1st of May, some experts consider this particular fact that the major share of the vaccine will be coming to India, almost 35% of it. So that will be a very good thing. Already I have told you that India is not going to ramp up its vaccine according to the needs that are required in the domestic arena, but it will have to export the vaccines from outside. And for that, we have cleared AstraZeneca, and we have also cleared Sputnik 5. We are taking some vaccines from Japan, South Korea, and even some from Australia. So I hope this is clear. The next one is the right priorities. Again, the same, the change of policies. Now, there are two things related about this particular article. This particular article basically focuses upon two things that India is needing. Now, as US has moved into acting mode, they have been working on the vaccines and the oxygen management devices, which include the container, the concentrator, and the generator to basically provide the facilities to India. In the shorter term, these are the two things that the Indian people are going to require. But in the longer term, there is going to be a TRIPS waiver. Pharmaceutical vaccines are needed to be provided. Now, whether we should consider this in the upcoming days or not, that is another thing to be debated about. Because right now, there is a TRIPS waiver that the countries have requested, but most of the developed nations at the World Trade Organization or the negotiations have refused to do that. I hope you remember, WTO is a consensus-based body, so if no countries are agreeing to a certain proposal with respect to the World Trade Organization, none of the decision can be made. So that is the creating a problem with respect to the IPR waiver that India is seeking. We will explain what is IPR waiver, but just for the second, remember that now the priorities has been given for vaccination and the oxygen management device, and there is a possibility that in the near future there may be a longer term TRIPS waiver for the pharmaceutical vaccines in the larger interest of the vaccination of the people for the safety of humanity as a whole. The next one is the true name. So I hope you remember yesterday United States of America have called the act of genocide which was inflicted by the Ottoman Turks on the Armenian Empire. I hope you remember. We have talked about in the yesterday's news also, or in the yesterday's class also, regarding this particular issue, that it has been condemned by the Turkey, but it has been recognized by USA, which has been a long-standing demand of the Armenians. I hope you remember Armenia and Azerbaijan are both located in the neighboring areas. Recently, Azerbaijan, on the increase with respect to the money, have attacked the region of Armenia, and Caucasus region was basically attacked. In that particular region, Russia was a guarantor of the security of Armenia, and there have been a status quo that has been maintained. The Azerbaijan behind that particular country, Turkey has thrown its weight. Now there have been series of events that have deteriorated the relation between the nation of Turkey and the nation of Armenia, and that is including the uses of the F-35 fighter jets, and using the Russia's technology, the buying of the S-400 missile. There is Katsa waiver or Katsa sanctions that are imposed on Turkey, as we have seen in the case of Turkey. Now all those things are taking round. In that, the act of genocide which was committed during the First World War, there are two positions to that. The Turkey's position is that of course the atrocities has been committed on the Armenian people. We are ready to basically recognize that. But on the other hand, they are denying the fact that it was an act of genocide and nobody was killed. Now, there is a small population of Armenia that was living around that. In the Second World War, Turkey was defeated by Russia, and Turkey have blamed the Armenian people to remain on the sideline and not helping the nation or not helping the country to actually win against Russia. So that have led to a series of events, and in that, the nation of the Armenia was committed and structured genocide has been committed. So these are some of the things that have been debated. I hope this is clear. Now, coming to the patently wrong regime. So what is a patently wrong regime? First of all, we need to understand what is a IPR, that is intellectual property right. I hope you remember, if you own something, that is your property. That is the basic understanding. If somebody has a name on it on a property paper, or if you have somebody, you can call that it is my property, or this house is my property because I have my name on this. Now, in the backdrop of this, you should understand that there is a global pressure that is currently mounting on the global community in the backdrop of the coronavirus, that the vaccines should be kept away from the purview of the IPR regime. Now, first of all, what is the IPR regime? It was decided that whenever we are talking about the intellectual property or the things that are generated by the application of a mind by certain individual, company, or an institution, or even a public body, there is a need to provide certain incentive to that particular body for the research that they are conducting. Now, in that backdrop, there have been a lot of problems right now that are coming, and mostly from the developed nation. The developed nations are not loosening their hold. India have already submitted an application in the World Trade Organization, which is also supported by other nations, and it is resisted by mainly the developed nation, that is US, UK, European Union, and Canada. They have resisted it on the part that there is no incentive with respect to liberalization of the TRIPS regime. Now, what is a TRIPS regime? So, for example, there is a research that is being conducted with respect to the coronavirus vaccine in US. If the vaccine is being made, then the manufacturer of that particular vaccine, if you have to take license from that particular company for the making of the vaccine. Now, if it is a public good, then a waiver can be provided and anybody can make copies of it and anybody can distribute it. So it will be available at a cheaper prices. Now, the patent laws, when we are discussed, there are three grounds basically that are suggested that why the patents law should exist. Now, these are natural, moral, and the control of invention that is being done. There is a utilitarian principle that for the common good of the society as whole, if certain persons are given an transcendental or monopolistic position with respect to the regulation of a particular drug, it is also desired. The individual benefits should be recognized of an individual that he have created something for his fruits of labor. So please understand three patents on the ground, how the patents are justified. The patents are justified on the basis of natural, moral, and ethical grounds, that it is ethical for anybody to recognize what has been discovered. There is utilitarian principle. Utilitarian principle suggests that if a particular person does a research in a particular vaccination or in a particular property, and if it is helping all the people or all around the world, then it is a larger benefit to the society. So individuals should be paid a certain amount in excess to whatever will be received by other persons. And then there is individual must benefit for the ideas that he is having. Now, when we talk about all idea that is currently there, therefore they are according to the patent law, they are provided type of a monopoly in that. When we talk about the situation with respect to India, there was a Patent Act 1970. India has been always criticized of this particular part, that whenever we are talking about search, in the Constituent Assembly, when the discussions were also going, there was a debate that whether we should go for the public welfare or whether we should provide a monopolistic issue or monopolistic regime with respect to the regulation, control, and administration of that particular research. So, for example, let's say there is HIV vaccine that is available in the market, but as the developed nations would have conducted huge amount of research into that, so there would have been huge expenses that would have run into it, and the company who have spent huge expenses with respect to the research would also like to recover that money from the market. Now, in doing so, the prices of the vaccine would be very high. So if the prices of the vaccine would be very high, it would be not easier for the common public to basically procure that particular vaccine, and here is where the crux lies. So the Indian government has been argued in the parliament that it is a welfare state, and therefore the recognition of an individual is necessary for the work that he have done, but the state government should also enact a patent law in which the monopolies of the pharmacy cannot be done. So therefore, that led to a revolution of the pharmaceutical sector in India, where every company can produce any of the medicine that is needed to be produced, and altogether the restrictions has been removed, which allowed India to become one of the major generic manufacturers of the world. In the backdrop of this, there are two things. There are life-saving drugs that are needed to be maintained, and that was not available to the developing nations or the poorer nation until unless they were developed by India. So right now India is supplying major vaccines to the nation, and we have also seen India supplying approximately vaccines to the 100 nation in the case of the COVID. Now, why not right now the liberalization with respect to the TRIPS arrangement or a temporary waiver needed to be provided with respect to the manufacture of the vaccine that India can produce, or let India produce the vaccines at a larger pace which is being used in the other countries. The first one is, the argument is that the corporation must be rewarded. There is no monopoly, there is no incentive to produce. These are the two arguments that are being given, that why the TRIPS are not being basically allowed to be provided a waiver. Now, as the research currently we have factor on our hands, under the research we must know that whenever we are talking about the money that is coming into the research, 95% of it is a public money. So on the behalf of it, we can be sure that the private companies are basically using the public money, that is publicly funding, and the private sector contribution with respect to the generation of the funding is not more. If it is a public money, then its benefit should also be accrued to the public at large. The second one is, when we talk about the monopoly, it does not mean that the monopoly should proceed with respect to the larger benefit of the society. As in the case of COVID, no individual will be safer in the world. If there is one COVID case that is still remain, or there is no vaccination, or a herd immunity is not being achieved by the nation as a whole or individual nations in their own sense. So the larger context of the issue is that if there is a vaccine that is made a public good, which is available to the all, the people would be free, and therefore the monopoly for the time being or a temporary period needed to be suspended. Now, when we talk about the justice that is needed to be done with respect to the social aspect and with respect to the humanitarian justice, vaccines may be the only thing that is needed to be provided for the more efficient and more equitable way of administering vaccines to the larger set of people. So that is what we are requiring for, and whenever there is an unequal vaccine policy among the nations, the poorer country will definitely suffer, because they do not have the resources and the reach to basically procure the large amount of vaccines at a larger prices or at a larger cost. But they would look toward India with respect to the vaccines at a cheaper prices and hope that India will produce generic vaccines, and from here they can lift up those vaccines and would help the cause of the coronavirus pandemic and stop the spread of the coronavirus pandemic with respect to the populations of the world. So I hope this is clear. The next one is marking the beginning of the green era. So this is Saud bin al-Sati. Now, if you do not want to read it, it is also completely justified. He is Saudi Arabia's ambassador to India. What he have said, that right now Saudi Arabia is planning to basically go on a green good initiative. We are planning for a Saudi green initiative and a Middle East green initiative. Under this, we will be planting approximately 1 billion trees. There will be increase in the forest area or the protected area up to 30%. There will be reduction in the carbon dioxide emission by 4%. And when we talk about the long vision of the climate change, we have already realized that with respect to the international issues that are currently prevailing the world community, only the international corporation with ambition needed to be done. And when there is ambition, only ambition is not sufficient. With ambition, you also have to act in a manner that is also objective of the practicalities on the ground, and also keep considerations for the achievement of the future goal. Now, when we talk about Saudi Arabia Joint Alliance, they have said that they are going to sooner or later develop a joint alliance with respect to the issues that are currently prevailing the climate change. That is the financial resources we need to be provided. There is Vision 2030, under which there is equality needed to be provided amongst the citizens with respect to the income that they are currently earning. There is National Environment Official Police that is also going to be nominated, who will be looking after the enforcement of with respect to the environmental norms and also the protection of the environment and determining and the ways in which the environment can be taken care of. There is going to be another city that is developed for a mega city, which will be generating all its energy, that is 9.5 gigawatt by 2023, by a total amount of approximately 50 billion. So that is also there. So I hope this is clear. You can just read it. There is nothing that is needed to be needed to be understood in that. You can just collect the facts and move ahead. Okay, further moving on, aid pours from the world. So all the countries have now come forward. We have US, Russia, France, UK, who have rushing the critical emergency equipment to India to fight the COVID second wave that is currently going on. There is oxygen concentrator, respirators, and large quantity of liquid oxygen that is currently easing the situation with respect to India and the need that India is currently needing. The Indian Armed Forces and the Air Forces are also put to test and incorporation in those testing time, and there have been help from all the corners, and there have been certain quarters in India who were basically aggrieved of the slow response of the United States of America, but finally they have also come on board with respect to the assistance that they want to provide India in containment of the coronavirus. So I hope this is clear. The next news is related to China ready to support India offer vaccine to South Asia. So China have said the same thing. Then there is USTR COVID relief with vaccine markers. So Catherine Tai, she is the head of the US State Trade Representative. Catherine, she have said that she is now meeting with the head of Pfizer and AstraZeneca on Tuesday to discuss the role of the developing countries in addressing the production and the distribution. So basically they were talking about India, that whether we should extend our production to the nation of India, because India has been called as the pharmacy of the world, and they can ramp up facility with respect to the making of the vaccine sooner or later. In that, there have been also issues with respect to the WTO organization that want to waive intellectual property right, but it has been temporarily blocked by the United States of America. So there is also a need of a global response with respect to the plight of the human beings that are suffering all around the world. So that is what they have said. Then there is Sri Lanka cabinet proposal for burqa ban. So this has been cleared. It was tabled in the parliament. That was draft law will be tabled in the parliament, says the spokesman. There have been criticism of this particular burqa ban in the public, and the Sri Lankan authorities have done it on the basis of the security concern that have led to the eastern bombings. I think last year, in which certain people were killed at multiple locations, and it has been found that the attack was originated from the state of Pakistan against the Buddhist community and the churches that were present in Sri Lanka. So I hope this is clear. The next one is Biden to sign minimum wage order for federal government workers. So I hope this was just a promise that the total income with respect to the working in United States or the minimum wages per hour has been increased from $10.95 per hour to $15 per hour. So that is going to increase the inflation with respect to USA as the money is being poured in. That is also going to raise the inflation with respect to the state of USA. So the growth might look big, but it may not be in the real terms as a larger part of the final GDP that we are going to get in the case of the USA. So that is the another part. The next one is the ADB sees the growth for fiscal year 22 at 11% from the 8% earlier. There is a Asian Development Outlook report. So Asian Development Outlook report is given by the Asian Development Bank. It talks about the growth of India for the fiscal year 2022 is supposed to be around 11%, but they have also suggested that there is a caveat that is in the form of the rising cases of the coronavirus, and there are the downside risks that may hamper the growth of the economy in the near or in the longer term. So I think that is it for today.